So let's talk about fairness. Do you believe that it was proper for the United States to preemptively attack Iran? Again, without any evidence that Iran is a threat to the United States, unless you have
Okay.
evidence in the contrary.
No war is fair. Someone has to crush the other person. You fight to defeat the other person. You are not fighting for proportion. You're not fighting like I killed 1,000 soldiers, so you have to kill 1,000 soldiers. That's not how it works. That's not how real war works. And they come in to crush you. That's the purpose of war. War only starts because people have tried other measures, diplomatic and otherwise, to be able to come to a conclusion, and they haven't found a way. That's usually how war starts. Um, I think you're missing. You're pretty knowledgeable on the Iranian side and the right to enrich uranium, but also Iran and America have a history, and Israel have a history that has gone back way back. We're talking about 50 years.
Mhm.
Okay, since the coming of Ayatollah into to be the supreme leader of Iran. So you can do a quick Google search to be able to find out what happened in his first year. He came to power. I'm not saying this is right. You can judge for yourself, whatever. But in his first year coming to power, there has been a couple of atrocities that were has been committed against Americans and American troops and Israeli troops and all that stuff. So I have a few here that I'm just going to read out loud so people can know what I'm talking about. Okay, in 1979 to 1981, the Iran hostage crisis. Iranian students seized American embassy in Tehran, taking 66 American hostage. They held them some for a total of 444 days amid demands of extradition of the deposed Shah. We all know about the Shah, the new guy who is trying to come in to run a little bit. 1983, Beirut embassy bombing.
Don't you feel like you started that story halfway at the end?
Halfway?
That's the end of the story.
Okay.
You
Well,
can't talk
I'm
about,
just really.
you can't talk about the hostage situation without talking about the Shah himself
Okay,
and
well,
why they
but
got to that point.
that's your
No,
position
no,
to
no,
defend.
no, no. I mean, Ghana, if you're telling a story,
But
it
that's
makes
your
sense to
position
tell
to
the
defend.
story. Sorry.
That's your position to defend. You're more than welcome to bring it up
No,
in your rebuttal.
now talking about fairness,
Uh-huh.
don't you think it's fair to start the story where it started than
Well,
getting to the conclusion? Because the only reason why they had the the crisis was
mhm.
because the Iranians were fed up of the puppet that the United States had put in power
Right.
for more than 40 years,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? A dictator who killed his own people.
Right.
That is the only reason why Ayatollah came to power. We all know
Mhm.
that. So if you start the story at the hostage crisis
Okay.
without explaining why they got to that point, then now there's a little bit of bias. It feels like there's a little bit of impartiality that comes in, right?
Impartiality.
Yeah,
Fair point. Fair point. I didn't
right.
hear you give any justification why the United States went into Iran. You didn't give that. So that was impartiality on your part too. Okay. So you can push back on my part.
Okay, yeah,
To be
sure,
fair. Okay.
sure.
So I'm just giving you
Yeah, just
context. Okay.
I'll let you speak. Sorry.
Wow. Okay. 1983. Bombing, suicide bombing, car bombing, Iran-backed Islamic Jihad. They killed 63 people. Okay, including 17 Americans at the U.S. Embassy in Beirut.
Mhm.
Okay. What's the other one? 1996. I'm just this just a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The Khartoum bombing, Hezbollah killed 19 American airmen and injured 500. The
So
most recent one,
when you speak of Hezbollah, Hezbollah is not Iran, is it?
but they are supported by Iran. Like
Hezbollah is
Iran,
Lebanon. No, 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 no. Hezbollah is Lebanon. Iran does not control Hezbollah. Hezbollah is an ally. It's not how do you call it? It's not what's the word, Ghana?
is not. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Hezbollah is an ally. Hezbollah is
Mm.
not how do you there's a word.
There's a
It's
word
not
then again, but it's an ally.
Iran does not control Hezbollah.
What?
Iran does not control Hezbollah. Iran does not pick the leader of Hezbollah. Iran does not plan.
No, you don't have to control by picking.
Iran doesn't have control.
Does Iran fund Hezbollah?
Iran supports Hezbollah, yes.
Does it fund Hezbollah?
It supports them, yes.
Okay. Does Iran fund Hamas?
Just like Qatar does, yes.
Yeah. So they all form groups that have a main goal of destroying the existence of Israel and the United States. Iran itself, the supreme leader has chanted and promoted the death to America, which is a common phrase in Iran amongst the leaders. They have said that.
It's a common phrase in most Arab countries. It's not only limited to Iran.
Right, but I mean, that brings us to America is not attacking other Arab countries. But why are they attacking Iran? Meanwhile, it's a common phrase in other Arab countries. That's a question to you.
Was that a question?
Yeah.
Well, they attack. I mean, you're either subjugated to the United States or you challenge the United States in any way.
Right.
When Iraq posed a challenge to the United States, not a threat, just a challenge to the United States. Well, they got attacked. When Libya presented a challenge to the United States and to the West, well, Libya got attacked. We all know what happened in Libya. When Syria presented a challenge to the United States, well, of course, they supported and funded what they call moderate rebels. You remember the phrase, right? And we all see what happened. We all know how that ended. So the rest of the countries who have not been attacked by the United States are subjugated to the United States. That's the only reason why. Take Qatar, for example. One of their biggest military base is in Qatar. Why do you have a military base in another country unless they are a subject and a puppet? That's the only reason why. The French base in Qatar, British base in Qatar. Saudi Arabia, America has a military base in Saudi Arabia. Why?
Well, you just said here that people have a right to make relationships and chatter.
Exactly. And again, I say that when you present a chat, the only reason why Qatar is not being attacked by the United States, the only reason why Saudi Arabia is not attacked, the only reason why Bahrain is not it's because they have subjugated themselves to the United States. They are what we call is the yesa. That I don't know.
But that's not really true. But that's not really true because you just said Qatar was providing financial support to Hamas
because Israel wanted them to do it. Don't you know the story? Because Hamas had an office in Qatar because the United States wanted Hamas to have an office in Qatar. This tells you the role that. In the relationship, the role that Qatar holds in this relationship, because the United States and Israel want you to open an office for Hamas in your country, they went ahead and opened an office in Hamas. Because the United States and Israel want you to send money to Hamas, you send money to Hamas.
Okay. Let me understand you clearly, so we're on the same page. You are saying that a group that is responsible for, or at least have stated in their charter, Hamas to be precise, that their main goal is wiping out Israel off the map. Israel then lets them to have an office in a foreign country that is financing this particular group, whose main goal is to.
That's correct.
And that makes sense.
You have to ask Israel if it makes sense to them. Because again, Hamas is a creation of Israel. We all know that. Hamas is a creation of Israel because Israel wanted another group in Palestine that could challenge or disrupt the activities of the PLO. So they created and funded Hamas. It is a creation of, just like ISIS is a creation of the United States. So you can't ask me if it makes sense. You have to ask, why do you say what?
Well, because all these claims are flying around in social media.
No. If you look well enough,
well, no, but Netanyahu has denied the claim that you're making. He has said he never did that. Okay, America has denied the claim that they have anything in the question. They said their activity in Iraq created a vacuum for ISIS to take place, but nowhere has it said that they funded ISIS to happen. So that's a false equivocation. You're creating a false equivalent that did not exist.
No.
When you create a vacuum and other terror groups come and take control, you can't use that to say you funded that group.
They actually, I mean, Ghana, who is currently the president of Syria? Do you know?
The guy was a terrorist who was an American terrorist.
Al-Qaeda, ISIS affiliate. Do you see the connection?
Well, tell me.
These are the moderate rebels that Obama funded. That Obama provided weapons to. So it's hard to not make these connections.
So Obama funded Al Qaeda? Is that what you're saying?
Obama funded moderate rebels.
Al Qaeda? No, but you're talking about
other terrorist groups.
Well, we're talking about Al Qaeda. I'm not talking about moderate rebels.
It's a chain of events. It's a connection of people. You can't talk about one without the other. You can't talk about ISIS without Al Qaeda. You can't talk about Al Qaeda without all of them are connected.
Yeah, but they're not the same group.
I mean,
they're not the same group.
It's the same thing. It's the same people. They leave Al Qaeda. They form ISIS. They move from ISIS. They are the same people. You can trace their connection to you can trace that.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you were asking me if it made sense. It doesn't make any sense. But that is a reality. Again, that was just the point I was trying to make. Because you were asking me if it made sense. It doesn't make any sense. Why Israel will want to fund Hamas, why Israel will create Hamas in the first place, and then fund it, and then ask Qatar to open an office for Hamas in Qatar.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't make any sense to me.